Hello everyone, my name is Man of Stage and welcome back to Utawarerumono. First of all, sorry there wasn't an episode last week. Things got kind of busy and my wife and I are prepping for a vacation, which we may or may not still be on when this episode goes up because I don't know when this episode is going to go up. Sorry in advance. I'm going to get to it when I can. If I can edit it pretty quickly, I'll try to turn it around and get it up this week. The last episode was a lot. There was just so much that happened. We had the confrontation with Woshi's in the mausoleum. He finally thought he got what he wanted, and then it turned out he couldn't even wield the power because he was a clone the whole time. Jeez, there were like a television show's season worth of plot twists in the last episode. But then after he just completely broke down from that, he had started up the process to try and eradicate the Tatari that were underneath the mausoleum, and instead they broke out and started rampaging through the capital, relentlessly devouring everything in their path, leaving Oshtor and Mito no choice but to use the satellite Amaterasu to just wipe out the capital and cause, I guess, what you would basically call like a nuclear winter. Ah, boy, those stakes, though. At this point, Mito's probably gone. I mean, there's a 99% chance that Mito and Honoka are gone, and maybe a slightly lower chance that Woshi's and the Yatanawarabe survived. I know there was some kind of shelter inside of the mausoleum, but with that kind of power, I don't know. That'd be like if there was a bunker on Scarif and somebody's like, oh, I could probably survive the Death Star. I don't know about that. Okay, maybe it's not Death Star level, but still, you get the point. But the thing about it is, Oshtor, Kuon, Anju, and the rest of them had to run through the gate to some unknown location. We have no idea where we are at this point. So things are pretty dire. I'm not sure if the last episode was the climax of the story, but we're not out of the woods yet. I know this is a really long-winded description, but I mean, it was an episode worthy of basically a season recap. Anyway, let's figure out where the heck we are. Okay, we have some semblance of an idea of where the heck we are. I don't know where this is. When we arrive, we are greeted with an otherwise empty room. Did we just go back to where we came from? In the silence that follows, all I can hear is everyone's breathing and the faint noises of the machine.
転移装置の主導力が落ちたらしいな。どうやら転移には成功したか。
Everybody made it through in one piece, nobody's inside out and exploding.
しかし、ここは何かの建物のようだが。
Anju's voice suddenly reverberates through the room. She's going to be very sad. That's another thing. Poor Anju. She just had the entire reality of her situation brought to light, and it's like, oh yeah, you were created just as a quote-unquote puppet. Also, your dad's alive, but he's probably not now. Oof.
お父上はオストル、お父上は
正常。
None of us can answer her question.
お父上
Anju rushes to the walls in search of an exit. Sounds like she found one. A portion of the wall automatically begins shifting, as if in response to Anju's presence, revealing a telltale crack in the metal.
お父上
There she goes running off again. Anju pushes open the door and rushes out of the room. We don't know where we are.
聖女、むやみに動かれては。
I don't think she really cares.
危険ですアンジュ様
Alarmed, we all rush after her. We chase after the footsteps we hear from above, eventually leading to a spiral staircase that winds upward. Suddenly, our view opens up. Ooh, where is this? This is really interesting. Are these ruins? I mean, probably. It appears as though we've arrived atop a high tower. Treetops spread out before us. Our vantage point high enough to see a fair distance away. Oh, are we going to see the capital?
ここ。
No, I think we're too far away for that. Just as I look around, trying to figure out where we are, a blinding light flashes across the sky. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Wow. Before our eyes, a spear of light falls from the heavens, piercing down to a point on the distant horizon. In an instant, a shockwave ripples through the air. Okay, I'm beginning to think maybe my Death Star analogy wasn't that far off. It's like the localized blast.
あれはテートの方角か。
なんだあのでっかい光の柱は。
That was the satellite. What's a satellite? Never mind.
浄化の光。
Yeah, that's probably an easier way to say it.
まるで天と地をつなぐ柱のよう。
じゃああれがアマなんとかっていう。
Yeah.
いやいや、あの下におるもんはみんな。
兄貴、テートを追い尽くそうとしていたたたりをアマテラスが焼き払っているんだろう。何も知らずに見ればなんと神秘的な光景だと思えたかもしれない。だが
聖書。
Aww.
お父上。お父上。
Tears run freely down her face, no longer caring to hold them back. Anju clings to Minechika, sobbing openly. None of us know how to comfort her. All we can do is stand there in silence. Time gradually goes by, and we start to feel the bite of the cold night wind. And a sneeze. Nekone's sneeze brings us to our senses.
ずっとこうしてはいられないかな。野営の準備をしないと。
I wonder if we're close to the area where Kuon found Haku. Kinda looks like it. Exhausted by her sobbing, Anju seems to have worn herself out. She now rests limply against Munechika, fast asleep. It's a small consolation, but it's all we have. Kuon takes command in setting up the camp. Her directions are quick and precise, and we all busy ourselves with our duties. Mikazuchi and the twins are given the duty of keeping watch. Yaktwald and Ogi on firewood duty, Nosuri, Kiryu, and Atui in charge of finding food.
宗近はアンジュのそばにいてあげて。
心得た。
猫ネとルルティエは私と一緒に食事の支度をお願い。わかりましたです。はい、すぐに火を起こします。では私もお手伝いいたします。さあ、ぐずぐずしてると日が暮れちゃう。すぐに取り掛かろう。
Has it not already? It looks like it has. Kuon claps her hands, hurrying us along.
クオン、自分は何をすれば。
Sit there and look pretty.
水を汲んできて、この道に沿っていけば川が流れているから。
わかった。ココポ、手伝ってくれるか。
I follow Kuon's path, and sure enough, I find a small river after some walking. I fill the leather canteen full of water and stack it on Kokopo's back.
しかし、ここに川があるなんてよく知っていたな。
Okay, this is kind of reinforcing my theory that this is close to the area where we were. As I turn back, about to head to the campsite, I see something extending up to the sky.
あれは
Back at our arrival point, I see a spire towering back in the evening sky. It looks out of place, like it doesn't belong in this world.
塔だったのか。と、そんなことより早く水を持って行ってやらんとな。
Our tent is eventually ready, and our meal soon after. Wild game of the mountains, fish, and some wild vegetables are spread out before us.
すごいごちそうになっちゃったね。まるでお宿におるみたいやえ。
But do we have booze?
アマムの粉と塩があって助かりました。
食欲をそそられる。この香りがたまらん。
はい、途中で猫根様が構想を取ってきてくれましたので。
As we all eat together, chatting about the taste, Anju alone remains completely silent. She does not touch her food.
ちゃんと食べないとダメかな。
欲しくないのじゃ。
Understandable, you have been through a lot.
ダメ。
She thrusts an amamune toward Anju.
とにかく食べてみて。お腹が膨れれば大抵のことは乗り越えられるから。
That is very true. Oftentimes, if you're feeling depressed, food does help. To a point.
フミリルも笑ってないでアンジュに。
クーちゃんが言うと重みが違うなって。
Umaro's observation sends a chuckle through the group.
助けられているな。自分も成城も。成城が召し上がられぬというのであれば、それがしがいただきましょう。
I think that makes sense considering the fact that at this point they all know it's Haku, not Oshtor. And also, well, I don't know that they ever fully grasped that the Mikado was Haku's brother, because I don't think he ever explained it. I wonder if that does ever get explained. With that, I take the amamune handed toward Anju and bite into it. That's my food.
うまい。さすがは成城の恩ために心を込めて作られただけのことはある。
Take a bite where he bit. Indirect kiss.
お、こちらをどうぞ。
Riletia holds out a new amamune, and this time, Anju takes it. Her gaze hardens in resolve, and I watch her take a bite. She chews slowly.
うまい。
Aw. The dam breaks, and tears begin rolling down Anju's cheeks again as she speaks.
うまい。うまいぞ。
Even through her tears, Anju continues to eat. Evening fades into quiet night as we sit there, gathered together around the fire. Sleep seems impossible. Where did we get all of this stuff for the tent? Were we just carrying all of this around? All right. I can hear everyone else's breathing in the tent, soft and even. I try closing my eyes, but after several minutes of fruitless stillness, I give up and open them once more. I slip out of my blankets and head outside the tent.
旦那、こんな夜更けにどうしたい？
Boy, howdy. Yachtwald notices my exit, sitting nearby the fire for his turn on watch duty.
いや、少しな。
Oh, come on, you could tell him. He won't tell.
ああ、爽やかい。もうすぐ冬になるとか聞いちまうと、自然と近くなっていけねえや。
Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
そんなところだ。
襲ってくるようなもんの気配はねえが、気をつけるじゃない。
わかっている。
Yachtwald smiles, giving me a lazy wave as I leave the campsite. We going back to the spire? I wander aimlessly in the wild until I find myself drawn into the ruins. I step into the darkness, not much different from the dark night air. In the dimness, I realize the master key has a faint glow to it. As if in response, the ceiling flickers with a dim light.
まだ機能しているのか。いや、
This facility's true functions are long gone. These lights are just showing me the path, nothing more. Thinking to myself, I continue on through the dimly lit hallway. The door to the gate room remains ajar from Anju's push. It feels empty here, like time stopped. I blankly stare around, taking in the empty space of the room. As I stare around the room, memories bubble up and disappear in my mind. Flashes of my brother.
なんだろうな、これは。まるで、ぽっかりと心に穴が開いたような。前に兄貴が死んだと聞かされた時には感じなかった。
Well, I feel like the first time when the rumors were spreading, it wasn't confirmed. It just felt like there was a lot of speculation, but not a whole lot of circumstance. You know, there was no big thing that definitely said that the Mikado was gone. And then on top of that, there were so many other things happening. Fights occurring, there was infighting, Anju was in disarray. It makes sense, but this time, there's a finality to it because, I mean, he heard the computer say there is a 1% chance that the people in the mausoleum would survive. I mean, he basically just saw everything in the capital, including, likely, his brother and Honoka just gone.
兄貴、今度こそ本当に行っちまったんだな。
Yeah. It finally hits me. I have nobody left. Nobody who remembers my true past. I crouch in the darkness, huddling in my robes. For a long while, I don't move. But then I notice a sound.
これは歌声？
Is it the twins? Carried on the night wind, the song seems to be coming from somewhere above. I rise and start making my way up the spiral staircase, as though drawn to the rooftop. Little by little, the sound gets louder until I can hear it clearly. As I emerge at the top, I see the land looks much brighter than I thought it would be. The fires must still be burning. An orange glow has settled over the horizon where everything would ordinarily be dark. Beyond the broken down framework, I spot two faces I've come to recognize. The two of them stare straight ahead, as if singing to the entire imperial capital. It's a warm sound, one that sinks into the heart, a serenade tinged with sadness.
ああ、そうか。これは
Aww.
犠牲になった帝都の民へ、そして兄貴とほのかさんに捧げる鎮魂歌なんだな。
I stand there, too entranced by the song to call out to them. But eventually, their song comes to an end. This is so sad. They probably know I've been here. Both of them turn, staring at me.
さすがにここは冷える。もう戻れ。
I'm not entirely convinced that they feel that much cold.
どうした？
歌をこのままもう少し歌っていてもよろしいですか？主上とお母様を安らかにお送りしたいのです。
Their refusal takes me aback. Obedience has always been their only response to whatever I ask. This is the first time they've ever protested my words.
それは構わぬが、ただ機械的に従っているわけではないと思っていたが、ここに来て心の揺らぎを見せるのか。
Well, I guess it's possible at this point, since those who gave them the orders are gone, maybe the orders don't have the same hold anymore.
兄貴とほのかさんの死はそれほどの影響を与えているんだろうな。
Or that probably is more likely. My surprise must be showing on my face. The twins stay silent for a moment, and then Ururu begins to speak quietly.
私たちは違う。私たちの部族は強大な力に対抗するべく創造されし種。最高位たる我ら、鎖のカムナギ。ヤマトにあだなす者を、その力をもって封ずる、定めを授かりし者。二人で一人。片方は大宮司の記憶と意志を継承し、新たな大宮司として主上を支える役目を
Huh.
つなぐ。もう片方は時代のための新たな生命を宿す。
Huh.
永遠に終わらない。それは輪廻となって長い長い時を紡いできました。
記憶の継承？まさか記憶の転写？人格融合か？そんなものにまで手を。そういえばほのかさんが本当の母親ではないようなことを言っていたが。
正確にはおば。
Huh.
私たちを産んでくれた母は幼い頃に亡くなりました。
I'm not going to lie, I missed that part about Honoka not being their true mother. That must have been a while ago.
そうか。この二人が特殊な生い立ちだとは分かっていたが、ここまでとはな。
Neither did I, to be perfectly honest.
本来なら違った。私たちもどちらかがお母様と融合してほのかという存在となり、どちらかが次の世代を育む。主様が現れた。そのことで私たちのお役目は終わり、輪廻も終わりを迎えたのです。
Okay. So that was an endless cycle until whoever the successor to the Mikado's mission appeared. Gotcha.
なぜだ。
主上は後継者として
Yep.
主様を選んだ。そしてこれからは主様に仕えるようにおっしゃいました。
Once again, I find myself in a situation where I could basically say nothing.
お母様は自らのことのように喜び祝福してくれました。私たちが主様と結ばれますようにと。
Harem route. Harem route.
私たちのため、主様こそが私たちを永劫に続く輪廻の檻から解放できるのだと。とても嬉しそうにそう語ってくださいました。
Aw.
でも出会った時私たちは最初から主様のためだけに生まれてきたのだと。胸が締め付けられた。釣り鐘のように胸が高鳴り、顔がほてりました。主様と会うごとにその思いは確信となり、胸に深く刻まれてゆきました。すべて必然巡り合ったこの方こそが私たちの我が君なのだと。歌われるもの。
I said the title.
この方こそ新たな御神となられるお方なのだと。私たちは主様と共にある。たとえ主上やお母様の言葉がなくとも、私たちはいつか主様のもとに馳せ参じたことでしょう。
Silence falls as they finish their confession. Now the twins only stare back toward the Imperial capital, still lit by the fires and the wreckage.
これまでの歴史と言えるものが全てこの二人に託されていたわけか。
Wow, that's a lot.
どうして自分なんかに尽くしてくれるのかとずっと思っていたが、そう。
ごめんなさい、主様。愛していたお母様に、愛していたお父様に安らぎの歌を。だから今だけは二人だけにさせてください。
I think that's reasonable. They state their request together, as if the two of them are a single person. I can see the apologies in their eyes, their pleas for my forgiveness. And I can tell they don't want me to stay. They don't want me to endure this cold for their sakes.
気を使わせてしまったか。望むままにするがいい。
はい、主様。
Soft smiles accompany their response. I head down the spiral staircase once more, but the prospect of trying to get back to sleep makes me hesitate. Instead, I wander aimlessly through the passageways of the ruin.
眠れないの？
Hey, you're here too. A sudden voice makes me turn, and I see Kuon standing there quietly.
クオンか。とても大切な昔語りを聞いていた。
そう。
Kuon just smiles and doesn't pry any further.
私も眠れなくてちょっと散歩に出ていたら歌声が聞こえたから。
Oh, did you hear that entire thing?
一緒にいていい？
Kuon must be being considerate. She answered all my questions before I even asked. I nod in response, giving her a small smile. Kuon still keeps a bit of distance, leaning against the wall. She casts a thoughtful gaze around the area.
ここ懐かしいな。
Her muttered words catch my attention.
この遺跡のことを何か知っているんだな。
Okay, I was kind of wondering. I started thinking about that more and thought, okay, maybe there's more to this. She hesitates only a moment more, then speaks with a strange determination in her voice.
ついてきて。見せたいところがあるんだ。
You're not going to make more Abukamus rage around, are you? She leads me toward the exterior wall of the ruin. Part of the wall's crumbled, and I can see a rope hanging down from a hole. It sways in the wind as if beckoning me to climb.
こっちだよ。
Leaving me standing there confused, Kuon leaps onto the rope and begins nimbly making her way upward.
相変わらずだな。それにしても、どこへ？
No, this is pretty typical for her. I follow after her, my mind made up. The awkward footing in the absolute darkness makes it a difficult climb, but I somehow make it to the top. At the end, I find a crack just big enough for a person to squeeze through. Ugh.
暗いから気をつけて。
I couldn't do it. I do not like being in really tightly confined areas. I'm not claustrophobic, I just don't like areas where I have to army crawl. With that, Kuon easily slips through.
先にあるものを知っている足取りだな。
On the other side, I find a hallway. A thick darkness seems to swallow everything up, more oppressive than the chamber with the gate.
クオン、明かりを。
In an instant, a faint light begins to fill the hallway.
光が。
ああ、これか。
I take out the master key.
なら、ここはまだ生きているんだね。
At least a little bit.
かろうじて、だろうな。
We make our way forward through the dimly lit hallway. At the end, we find a wall.
行き止まりか。
Or is it? We've been in enough of these ruins that a dead end is not usually a dead end.
ちょっと待って。
Kuon walks to the wall and puts her hand on the identification device embedded there.
確か、こうして、こうだっけ？
She begins tracing her fingers on the pad, as if drawing a shape.
こうで、あれ？
As Kuon struggles with the pad, I hold the master key close over her shoulder. A light runs through the wall, and an unseen door opens.
便利なんだね。
Well, it's not called the master key for nothing. She seems about to say something else, but I'm already heading inside. Tense. The room is small, about the size of a hospital room, maybe. In the middle, I see something vaguely familiar.
これは？
There were a lot of these in the Oh yeah, it's been a while since I've had to say that. There were a lot of these in the Uzurushan ruins, if I remember. It's probably a medical capsule of some kind.
かつてはこの中に誰かが入っていたということか。
Was it you? I take a step closer to it, strangely drawn, and I hear Kuon's voice as she moves forward.
ここが全ての始まり。
Okay, so I was right. Her eyes soften as she runs her hands across it, her gaze somewhere far away.
ここはね、ここに、ハクが眠っていたの。
Okay, yep.
ここに。
I try tinkering with the side controls, just in case there's any personal information, but all I get is an error message on a blue screen. Oh no, it's the blue screen of death.
最悪時の混乱で識別装置が壊れたってところか。これなら兄貴が見つけ出せなかったのも無理はない。
Even the computer doesn't know who you are.
記録が失われたのは残念だが、生命維持装置が壊れなかっただけでも運が良かったと思うべきだな。
Yeah, the other way around would have made this a very short story. Oh, we know exactly who he is, but he's dead. My head spins as I stare down at this cradle I once slept in. Then Kuon begins to speak, as though just remembering something.
話したことがあったよね。子供の頃から知らない土地や場所に行くのが好きだったって。
But we're the best thing you ever discovered, right?
お母様たちにバレたら怒られるから、こっそり部屋を抜け出してはいろいろなところに行ったんだ。大きくなってからは見聞を広めるって理由であちこち旅をしてた。そんな時このヤマトの噂を耳にしたの。それでいても立ってもいられなくて、お母様たちに話しても反対されるから黙って海を渡ったの。初めての船旅はとても楽しかった。ヤマトについても初めて見るものばかりでずっと興奮してた。そしてこの国で初めて立ち寄った集落でいつものように聞いたんだ。この辺りに太古の遺跡はないって。それでここのことを知ったの。
Wait, so you hadn't been in Yamato very long before you stumbled upon Haku?
この遺跡に来た時それほど期待してはなかったんだ。散々調べ尽くされた後だって分かったし、そう都合よく見たいものに出会えるわけじゃないから。それがただの直感だったのか、それとも何かの導きだったのか。
It was your dad.
正直私にもよくわからないけど、
You had your dad's intuition.
何か見落としがあるんじゃないかっていろいろ調べてたら偶然中に入れそうな亀裂を見つけて。
偶然？
本当に偶然だった。
It wasn't coincidence, it was destiny.
足を踏み入れてすごく興奮したのを覚えてる。そこは誰にも荒らされた形跡のないまっさらな状態だって分かったから。でももっと驚くことがあった。天井にはうっすらと明かりが灯り、星空みたいにあちこちで小さな光が瞬いてた。他と違ってこの部屋は生きていた。
Literally.
夢中になってあちこち調べていたら指先が何かに触れたんだと思う。突然壁が動き出して冷たい空気と一緒に中からそれがせり出してきて、混乱している私をよそにゆっくりと蓋が開いたんだ。
Kuon stares into my eyes, as intense as if her story were occurring right before us.
そうだよ。ハクが眠っていたんだ。
ここに自分が。
As I look up upon the empty medical pod, Kuon begins to speak again. Her voice soft this time, like she's telling an old story.
すぐに分かった。人であって人でない姿、言い伝えと同じだったから。この人はきっと歌われるものなんだって。
Wow, they're saying the title a lot in this episode.
恩美大家やそのお方なんだって。ずっと会ってみたかった。話してみたいことが、聞いてみたいことがいっぱいあった。
And you managed to find the one that had amnesia. Dang it.
言い伝えは本当なのか、どんな暮らしをしていたのか、どんなものを食べていたのか、どんなお風呂があったのか、どんな家族がいたのか。
Of course, one of her questions was two of her questions. What kind of things did you eat? How are the baths? That very much is on point for Kuon.
この人が目を覚ませば私の知りたいいろいろなことを教えてくれるんじゃないかって。だけどハクは目を覚まさなかった。 体が冷え切ってひどく衰弱していて、それで私はすぐに外に運び出して天幕に寝かせて看病したの。看病している時嬉しかった、ときめいた。あの時のことは今でも忘れない。だって失われた歴史の生き証人が目の前にいるんだもの。でもハクが目覚めた時、それは後悔に変わった。
Oh, well.
あの時のハクは弱々しくて、とても一人で生きていくことができそうになかったから。
Oh, well, yeah, that's valid.
何よりこの人は一人ぼっちじゃないかってことに気づい。もしかしたら私はとても残酷なことをしたんじゃないかって。
Well, I mean, what would have the alternative been? Would he have just remained in stasis for an indefinite period of time until eventually the life support failed? Or what if somebody else found him who was not such a good person? Her voice lowers, a note of misery creeping in.
クオン、ただ一人。ただ一人残され、誰も知る者はいない。
Oh, well, yeah.
ハク。
だが孤独ではなかった。皆が集い、共に歩み、共に笑い、共に戦ってくれた。そして生き別れていた兄とも再会することができた。
That's very true.
何よりクオンがそばにいてくれた。そうだ、一人などではなかった。ありがとう。クオンが見つけてくれたからこそ、こうして今。
ハク。そっか、そう思っててくれてたんだ。
I can see tears shining in Kuon's eyes. She quickly looks down, probably to keep me from seeing. She quietly leans her head against my chest, as if to hide her face from me.
クオン、
ごめん、少しだけこのままでいさせて。
Yeah, go for it.
クオン、
She's so headstrong, I forget that she can be fragile. All I can think about is how important this feels to me, here and now.
ああ、そっか。大切なことを忘れていた。いや、思い出したのか。
思い出した。
Instead of answering, I wrap my arms around her and pull her close. She raises her head, surprised.
く。
For a moment, I see confusion in Kuon's eyes. I see my own reflection in Kuon's eyes. Closer and closer, her eyes on mine. Oh, hey. Her lips against mine. It finally happened! Oh, yay. I can feel Kuon trembling in my arms. But the tension slowly leaves her body. Kuon leans into me, and I hold her even tighter, like I'm never going to let her go. I can feel our thoughts running together. I don't know how long we spent like that. Eventually, I relax my arms around her and give her some space.
まだこの思いを伝えていなかったことを。
Yeah, that is indeed important. You were close, but you never actually hit that point until now. Oh, yay. I'm so glad that happened. It was long overdue, but that's how we know we're getting close to the end, too. I managed to wake up as the sun's rising and walk back toward the campfire. It looks like everyone else is already up. Anju seems like she's feeling a little better.
クオンのやつは 特に変わりはないか。
But inside, she's singing.
どうかした？
いや、なんでも。と言っても、いつもと比べたらぎこちないか。どこかでクオンのことを意識してしまうな。
For you, this was a huge thing. For her, it was an inevitability. For Yachtwald, it is a cold.
もう、
おっとすまねえ。だがな、何やら昨日に比べて妙に寒くねえか？
Ooh, did the space laser blast from Amaterasu cause the cold to reach out even further than just the capital? I thought it was going to be more localized than that.
確かに私も今朝は妙に肌寒く感じる。
私もかな。昨日冬になるって話をしていたけど。
I nod in response, seeing her look to me.
このヤマトは天にある星によって守護されていた。その星により大地は温暖に保たれ、豊かな作物が実り、民の暮らしは支えられていた。
You know, it's probably better that he explains it as a star instead of trying to explain the concept of a satellite. I feel like Kuon would be excited by it, but I feel like most everybody else would just be confused, especially Nosuri.
だが星は放たれたたたりを滅ぼすため力を使い果たし、眠りに入ってしまったのだ。
星。それがなくなったから冬になるってこと？
Until we can restore the satellite. I mean, star.
帝の星の守護がなければ春がやってくることは二度とない。永遠の冬が訪れ、一切の作物は実らなくなるだろう。
Okay, yeah, I definitely misunderstood because I thought it was just going to be around the capital, but I realize now that circumstances are even more dire than I thought they were.
でもそんな話聞いたことないです。
That's because it's never been an issue until now.
事実。かいつまんで説明するならそういうことになります。あやや、地面がダメなら海に逃げんと。
その海も冬が続けば凍りつくことになる。
Yikes.
おそらくは寒さと上で多数の死者が出るだろうな。
そしていずれは雪と氷に覆われてしまう。
A heaviness hangs in the air.
よく聞いてみれば一大事ではないか。
Yeah, I would say that you are right, Nosuri.
よく聞かなくても一大事です。
Thank you, Ogi.
世界のすべてが凍りつくなら逃げようがないじゃない。
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing. I gave it considerably less thought, and I came to the same conclusion.
何か良い手はないのか。
Suddenly, Mikazuchi, silent until now, speaks up.
何やら策があるのだろう。
I do indeed.
星に呼びかけて目覚めさせる。さすれば元通りになるはずだ。
He really is leaning into the theatrics of this, but I guess he has, after this long of being... That's a good way to phrase it. After being in this land as long as he has and having some of his memories restored, I feel like he knows a good way to kind of dance around the technological barriers.
それはどのようにして？
程度であればそれもできたのであろうが、どこか星と交信できる場所があれば。
Probably in Tuscany.
兄上、なぜそんなことをし...
Is that Nekone? Kuon and the others swiftly elbow Kuryu in the side. Okay. I'm beginning to think that everybody else understands this situation except for Kuryu. And maybe Nosuri.
どうして？
なるほどね。ま、よくわからねえが、その星と交信できる場所を探さないといけねえってことじゃない？
Actually, maybe some of them have just decided that they're better off not knowing and just accepting things at face value. Like, Yachtwald, I feel like he's probably not thinking about it too hard.
ああ、それも一刻も早く見つけ出さねばなるまい。数日のうちに ヤマト全土に雪が降り始めることになるだろう。
いい。
雪ヤマト全土にですか？
そうなれば作物への被害は甚大になりますね。
国が揺らいでいる時に飢饉なんて起きたら取り返しのつかないことに。
正常。
ヤマトが冬に覆われるのは防がねばならぬ。それはわかる。じゃが
From the way she's speaking, I can already tell what's bothering her.
もちろん民のことを放置するわけではありませぬ。そちらは九十里の往路にお願いしようかと。
Good plan.
お父様に？
クオンが言うにはこの地は九十里の都からそう遠くはない場所とのこと。ルルティエからも口添えしてもらえるとありがたい。
I don't think that's going to be that hard. I think he's pretty on board.
はい、もちろん。私でお力になれるのでしたら。
And even if he were to push back for some reason, I'm pretty sure her sister would be like, oh no, I'll do that for you, Oshtor.
そうか、大勢に。
合わせて他の国の往路にも動いていただくとよろしいかと。
Yeah.
そうだな。彼らならば急ぎ動いてくれるであろ
では一度九十里王のところへ赴き、各方面への手配をするということか。
I nod at Munechika's words, then look to Anju.
う。いかがでしょうか。
わかったのじゃ。必要な文ならいくらでも書くぞ。
I can pen it with my hand, I can pen it with my fist, I can pen it with my giant sword. Just let me know what you need. Anju exhales in relief. Mikazuchi seems satisfied by Anju's reaction. He speaks once again.
ならばそちらは貴様に任せる。
You going back to the capital?
俺は急ぎテートに戻り、その様子を確かめるとしよ
Yeah.
う。まだテートがあればの話だが。
That's kind of what I figured, because it seems like his core duty is to protect the capital.
三日月。
俺はモノノフだ。からくりのことなどわからん。
Oh man, Mystic Machinery would be a great name for a band.
ならば好みが役立つ方を選ぶまでのこと。おそらくテートやその周辺はひどく混乱しているだろうからな。ヤマトの民草を生きている者がいるのならば助けねば。先の帝より受けた勅命は俺の中でまだ生きている。
You're a good guy, Mikazuchi.
そうか。わかった。テートは貴公に託す。
Mikazuchi nods to me, then turns toward Anju.
正常。しばしの別れです。
何かあればすぐに知らせるのじゃ。これからも左近衛大将として世を助けてほしい。
御意。
我らも役目を果たし次第すぐに参る。
あなたはさまつなことと言うかもしれないけど、お礼を言わせて。ありがとう。クーちゃんやオシュトル様を助けていただきありがとうございました。感謝。三日月様の働き、先の帝もさぞお喜びのはずです。
Oh, for sure.
道中どうかお気をつけて。
短い間だったが寂しくなるじゃない。
Me too, especially if we have any more fights.
寂しくなるぞ。
Thank you, Shinanon.
一度ちゃんと刃を交えてみたかった。
Okay, you need to calm down.
今よりもっと強くなり、きっと三日月様と並び立てる男になってみせます。
困ったことがあればいつでも私を頼るといい。イズルハとの決命は永遠だぞ。
姉上、そのようなことをなさった記憶はないのですが。
Details.
まあ一度くらいなら頭を撫でても文句は言わないのです。
Everybody else's words, it's like, yeah, that's great, thank you. Mikazuchi's just like, really? Mikazuchi smirks, fondly tousling Nekone's hair. Finally, he turns to me.
オシュトル、その首俺以外の者に落とされるなよ。
I was kind of hoping we were past that, but sure.
ああ、無論だ。
では、いずれかの戦場でまた相まみえようぞ。
Whoosh. Just whooshed his cape away.
言ってもうたね。
Dramatically.
けれど民のことは三日月や他のみんなに任せるとして、問題なのは星に語りかける場所かな。
そうだ、そいつが肝心だったな。旦那、どっかに当てはあるのかい？
確かな当てがあるわけではない。
ここの遺跡は使えないの？
ああ、一通り見て回ったが、それらしい部屋はすでに瓦礫に押しつぶされたようだ。
I figured that was going to be the case. It would be way too convenient.
マスターキーでもせいぜい明かりがついただけだ。もうここは使い物にならないと考えた方がいいだろう。
そう。
Kuon looks down, disappointed.
ではめぼしい遺跡をしらみつぶしに当たっていくしか。
That's unfortunate considering we're on a tight timeline.
マスターキーがあれば息を吹き返す遺跡があるはずだ。今はそれにかけるしかあるまい。
Everyone falls silent, perhaps just now realizing how shaky our plan is.
とはいえ、それでうまくいくとは限らんがな。
But we've got to try.
くそ、兄貴からもっと話を聞いておけば。
I don't know that he knew of that many active areas, because he didn't have the master key. I suddenly feel a tug at my sleeves from behind. I turn to find the twins staring at me with their usual emotionless expressions.
どうした？二人とも。
What I hear next stuns me.
知ってる。
Oh, of course they do. Right, they inherited all of the memories.
何？
星を導く場所に心当たりがあります。
なんだと？
多分確実とは言えませんが。
A hubbub arises at their words, all of us eager to know more.
確実でなくてもいい。聞かせてくれるか？
The twins nod together.
お城。
城？
九十里の城でそれらしいものを見ました。
Oh, well, that would be convenient.
まさかあそこに？
知っているのか？
詳しくは。でも以前ご覧になられた通り、九十里の城は遺跡を再利用して建てられた城です。
That's right, they did mention it was built on ruins.
もちろん遺跡としてはすでに抜け殻みたいなもので大したものはなかったのですが、でも最近増築した際にいくつか新しい遺跡が見つかったのです。そうした未発掘の遺跡は帝にお知らせするのが古来からの習わしとなっています。それで遺跡を調査するために帝都からお二人が城に参られたのですが。
そういえば。
I think back to the very first time I encountered the twins.
あの時ウコンは帝都へ何かの遺物を運ぶ途中だったな。あれは九十里の城から出土したものだったというわけか。
Oh, right, I totally forgot about that. Most of what I remember from that was them poking and prodding at him.
でもてっきりお二人が掘り尽くしたものだと思っていたのですが。掘り出してない。とても重要だったけれど大きすぎて掘り出せなかったものもありました。それで封印した。ですからそれには手をつけず封印を施した秘密の場所があります。
Oh, nice.
そうだったのか。そういうことならばなおのこと九十里の城へ行く必要があるな。よし、支度が整い次第すぐに出発しよう。
Oh, cool. We have a heading. Deep underground in the Imperial capital. Ooh, does that mean that Woshis is alive and wants revenge? In a vast open chamber, surrounded on all sides by a reinforced wall of composite metal. This place is the final evacuation area, an impenetrable shelter meant for the Mikado himself. The facility seems to have taken heavy damage. The mounted lights in the middle of the room operate at minimum power, only a dim glow. And in one corner of this chamber, crouching down against a wall, almost completely alone, Woshi's remains.
ウォシス様、食事をお持ちしました。
Okay, I figured there was a chance that Woshi's would survive, but I guess my estimate of it being a very small chance was wrong, but we'll see what happens with this. I have the feeling he's not going to take everything well.
いりません。
ですが、少しは召し上がりませんと。お体に触ります。
いらぬと言っている。
あ。
Woshi's lashes out in anger. His hand knocks the tray from Liverune's... Liverune? I don't remember how his name's pronounced. Hand, sending nutrient paste and water across the floor.
リベルニ。
Liverune, okay. Woshi's clenches his hand in a white-knuckled fist, his shoulders beginning to tremble.
消えなさい。ウォシス様、そうやって従順なふりをしていても、腹の底では私をバカにしているのでしょう。
I don't think they have that capability.
そんなこと。何をおっしゃいます。我々は。
笑いなさい。私は父上の後継者などではなかった。それどころか、父上の苦労。
Why do I feel like he's just going to swear to stop Haku from trying to re-engage the satellite? He's like, if I can't save Yamato, no one will save Yamato.
私もまた、アンジュと同じ、ただのまがいものだったのです。アンジュをあれほどバカにしておきながら、まったく、とんだお笑い草ですね。いえ、今でも我らにとり、ウォシス様こそが帝の真の後継者でございます。信じられるものか。父上、シチーリア、皆私を裏切る。どうせお前たちも。
I feel like that's pretty rich considering all the people you've betrayed, but sure.
何をおっしゃいますか。決してそのような。
もういい。今すぐここから出ていけ。私に触れるな。見心のままに。おいたわしい。ボシス様。
You know, I legitimately thought for a second they were just going to say, well, we can't get out because the door's broken, but we'll go to the other side of the room.
どうしたら。もう、我らの心は、あの方には届かないのでしょうか。
They might right at the end.
あの裏切り者、シチーリアのせいで。
あいつのことは口にするな。我らが創造主であり、絶対たるウォシス様より賜った恩を忘れ、あのような蛮行に走るなど。そうだ。ウォシス様に知っていただかなくては。
僕たちは決してウォシス様を裏切ったりなどしないと。
Oh no, they're going to act out on their own.
絶対に。すべてはウォシス様のために。
You know, the more I look at them, the more they remind me of evolutions. You got Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon. That's all I can think now. It's the hair. I know this is a shorter episode, but I think this is where I'm going to call it here. I don't have a whole lot of time to record today, unfortunately. That means it's more likely that I'll be able to get this episode up sooner, with it being a shorter one. I have the feeling that things are about to get more complicated as we go on the search for a way to reactivate the star, so to speak. Still impressed with the way he explained that. That was really good. I feel really bad for the twins, though. I know they're dealing with a lot. I mean, everybody is at this point. But with the dire circumstances, there's not a whole lot of time to dwell on that right now. I really don't know where things are going to go with Woshi's. Admittedly, I was a little surprised. I was surprised and not surprised at the same time to see Woshi's alive, if that makes sense, because I figured for plot purposes, it doesn't make sense for him to just be wiped out right away. I'm still suspicious that he's going to end up being the villain again, but I'm not sure in what capacity. I'm not sure how he's going to do it. It's just like his mental state's going to be completely off the rails now, and he's just going to grab one of the masks and go crazy or anything like that. Because I don't think he would be able to use Hakulo's mask, because he's a clone. But maybe. That's a good question, actually. And then I'm sure the Yatana Warabe are going to do something to try to get back in his good graces and prove their loyalty to him, which is probably going to run them afoul of us trying to restore everything and prevent this eternal winter from setting in. Maybe I was wrong about us being past the climax. It seems that way. There's just increasing climaxes. I wasn't expecting that. That sounds weird when I say it like that. The phrasing doesn't matter. Anyway. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. For now, I am one half of the Bridge Boys, signing off.